Hello everyone. So this is going to be our first video on the SAP ABAP tutorials, and then we are going to utilize this platform for all the discussions and then all the trainings related to SAP, especially into ABAP. But again, my agenda would be to give you as much as possible on the other modules of SAP, because I have a good amount of experience in SAP, especially into ABAP module, and then I have been working for a couple of implementations, support, upgrades, and rollout projects. So my target audience would be especially the people who are still in college, who don't know anything about SAP, but still they are curious about it. You are someone who want to know about SAP, you want to take a call whether you should come into SAP world or not. Do you have a bright future in SAP? So, or if you are someone who is already working into SAP but you want to enhance your skill, or probably you want to just revise the concepts, you might be a functional consultant and then you want to learn some ABAP stuff as well. So whatever we are going to do, it will definitely add up to your profile. If you are a college student and then you want to do some project, so this platform is going to help you on that also. But the agenda is to let everyone know as much as on SAP, especially into SAP ABAP. So when I'm saying ABAP, so ABAP is the programming language which is designed specially on SAP platform. It won't work out of SAP platform. And then what is SAP platform and all, so we'll go to the concepts later, but before that we have few prerequisites which you should do right away, so that as and when we progress on this training, so you don't suffer. So there are few prerequisites, and definitely the first one would be to have an internet, and then definitely you are having one because you are listening to me probably on YouTube. So SAP it requires a SAP logon pad. So this is how it looks like. SAP logon pad is nothing but a SAP GUI, or you can pronounce it as SAP GUI. So this is going to be our first interface to connect to SAP platform or SAP system or SAP client or SAP server, whatever you want to say. But this is going to be our first interaction for SAP login and all. So how you are going to download this into your laptops? So I have given some links here. So see this link. I'll open this link, and so here you can see free access to online SAP IDES all modules. So IDES is nothing but a demo server which is specially designed for the SAP partners or SAP customers. So you can go to this link and then you can download SAP GUI via this link and install into your laptops or desktop, whatever. So this is the prerequisite, the first thing you should do, and then in my opinion you might want to pause on this video and then want to do it as soon as possible, because without this we won't be able to progress further. The second prerequisite is, though you will be able to install SAP logon pad, but then we want to connect to some system. So as of now I won't recommend to get SAP installed in your laptop, because it's going to eat up a lot of memory and then it will make it very slow. But yeah, maybe after a couple of days we need to do that, because the platform which I'm going to let you know about is not full-fledged. It's only specifically designed for SAP, and that to ABAP training, so it won't contain much of the data or much of the transactions from different module, but still it's something which is very good to start with. So I'll ask you to go to the second link, and this is some German company which provides a free access to SAP IDES server. So go to this link, request for a free IDES server. Again, IDES is nothing but a demo server, and demo server is accessible only to SAP customers or partners, so mind it. So later when you are going to get it installed in your laptops, that is something illegal. But anyway, in this world nothing is illegal as long as we are able to manage it. So you'll get this form. This is something coming from SAP Web Pro platform. what is Webdin Pro will come to that also, not now, maybe after 2 months or so. But before that, you go to this link, enter all the details, accept all the disclaimers, data protections, terms and conditions, give all the details, and then try to give the genuine details. No need to give any fake detail because it doesn't matter here. And then from the options, I need ABAP, I need MM, I need ST, I need CO, I need FI, I need PM, I need PP, I need PS, I need QM, I need PI, I need PI. So enter all the details and then finally execute. So once you execute this, the request will go to the server and then it will be processed automatically within maybe 24 hours. Though the deadline is 24 hours, but you might get an email within 3-4 hours itself. So again, no need to provide any fake name, no need to provide any useless names like James Bond or something. Provide your genuine name, and then that's how your request is going to be processed. So this is a free access to SAP server. It will be connected to a server placed somewhere in Germany or maybe in some other remote location which I don't know, and then which I don't bother as long as it's working. So again, I mean, don't mess up this access, because then they will stop giving you a free access. So don't mess up anything there, and then anyway I'll let you know how to work on this, and then we'll come to that. So this is the prerequisite. So you might want to pause this video again and then get these two things completed. Initial few sessions are going to be little theoretical because I want to cover all the aspects of SAP, especially how SAP is performing in the IT world, and then what kind of roles and responsibilities you are going to get as an SAP consultant. And then maybe after 2-3 class we'll talk about an ABAP consultant, because everybody who is looking into this video probably would like to be an ABAP consultant at some point of time, provided you are not already working as a functional consultant. So again, I mean functional consultant when I said, so functional is someone who is master of these areas: FI, that is finance; CO, that is costing; ST, that is sales and distribution; MM, that is material management; HR, that is human resources; CS is customer services; PLM is product lifecycle management; PM is plant maintenance; PP is production and planning; PS is project systems; QM is quality management; ABAP, what we are going to learn, advanced business application programming. So BI is business intelligence, and PI is process integration. So these are few modules of SAP. We have a lot of other modules, few are industry specific, IS retail, IS oil, and then so again I would say don't bother about that, because first we need to get our foundation strong and then we'll jump to that. So I consider that whosoever is listening to these videos, if you already know SAP and still you are listening to it, so probably you might feel bored or something, so you can just stop viewing it, or then to learn something new I would recommend to unlearn something. So sometimes you need to unlearn something to learn a bit. So that is the funda I also follow. So try to see what I'm trying to say, try to get into it, try to understand it, and then if you're not satisfied, simply leave it, because there are many other platforms on over the internet wherein you can go and refer. But if you are a fresher or you are still into college and then you want to become a SAP consultant, so trust me guys, I am going to give you 1,000 times better knowledge than the trainers available in the market. And then you don't need to go to Siemens or Atos to do a certification and then pay them a hefty amount like 4 lakhs or something. So no need to do that even. So just have some faith in me and then go along with me. And anyway, it will be a video uploaded on YouTube, so it's up to you whenever and you want to access it and whenever you want to listen to it. So it's all up to you. We are going to use all the free tools available over the internet. At some point of time when I'll be having a good number of audience, and then somebody might want to prepare for the interviews and all, so that time we can do a Google Hangout, and then I can answer you on all the questions, and then I can clarify your doubts. In between, if you have any doubts, so because it's going to be on YouTube and it's not a live session, so you won't be able to raise your hands directly, so you can just take a note of my email ID. My email ID is going to be tutorials.sapabap@gmail.com. So you can drop your doubts here, and then again based on my availability and based on free times I'll try to revert back. But yes, initial for few days please try to focus on what I'm trying to explain, and then try to get your uh, foundations good. I mean, make it good into the starting phase, and then once you are comfortable with the initial few things, then later you will be having the flexibility to go to the internet and then explore various other things, explore all the free contents available over the internet. But right now get your basics done. So I believe by now you'd have at least requested for your IDS access, and then by now you'd have installed the SAP GUI. If not, please do it, because it's like a mandatory stuff. So I'll go to a PPT. This is not going to be very often because I myself don't like to go via PPTs, but still for initial few hours please bear with me, because you need to get into the concept. And coming to SAP, we do please mind that we never call it SAP, it's SAP, and SAP is systems and applications and products in data processing. So SAP was initially it's basically now it's a company. It's one of the biggest software development company. It was founded by 5 ex-IBM employees way back in 80s or 70s. We don't care now, because SAP as a product has been evolved much, and then we have a lot of things to bother about other than the founder, and also we'll leave it for now. But there is another term which you would listen very often. What is R3? So R3 is basically the third generation programming language, and then we have a 3-tier architecture. So R3 is like, first one would be presentation server. So this is going to be my presentation server. Then when I'm logging into SAP server, so this is something I call application server, and in the backend it communicates with the database. So that is a database server. Earlier it was like R2 architecture, wherein application and database servers were like mixed. It was a single platform, but now they have made it separate. And then also note that SAP doesn't have its own database. Recently they have acquired Sybase, and then they are trying to develop a platform on that. But apart from that, probably due to this reason, SAP has made itself so flexible that it can communicate with any kind of database. It could be DB6, it could be Oracle, it could be any XYZ database. So most of the databases, I would say, I mean, I'm not sure if you come back saying that this database is not working, because again, I mean, being an ABAP consultant, it's not our headache. So there is a separate team, basis team. So basis is someone who takes care of the SAP operating system, both from hardware, much from hardware, and then software side. So they are like someone who manages our Windows, and also they are the core IT guys who are like admins for the overall performance of the server, and also they will do the tuning, they will take a downtime, they will upgrade the patches, and also basis is a different team. So overall SAP team, how it's going to look like, there will be definitely a project manager or a project lead who will talk to the client, and then there would be a client who has already implemented SAP and needs either some support, or they need some enhancement, they want to roll it out to some other plant, or they want to upgrade their system. So there could be any scenario, they want to implement something new. So that's how it's going to happen. So there is a client, then there is a service provider. So let's say you are working for a company called ABC Consulting, and then don't go with the ABC Consulting which already exists. We are just taking a random name. So there could be a company called ABC Consulting which is providing IT services or consulting services to various clients in the world. So when you are working for that company, and then you switch to SAP. So a typical SAP team would look like As a project manager, I mean, I'm hierarchy wise it's from top to bottom. There would be a project manager. There could be different senior managers and vice presidents. So again, I don't bother about them. So project manager, and then or a project lead, and under whom there would be few web consultants, and then functional consultants from different modules, HTML, MFI, which I just showed in the other web page. So these modules, and then there will be a basis team who will take care of the SAP as a server and then as a software overall admin kind of thing. There would be someone from security module as well. They will take care of the access request and all. What is access request? Again, we'll come to that. And then there would be users who work on SAP, who do different transactions, and then there would be super users, there would be power users who are like a super user is leading, let's say, 20 odd users, so something like that. So again, the scenario varies from client to client, industry to industry, project to project. There might be a project which requires all the ABAP consultants, no functional required, because client is having its own solid functional team, or other way around, they might require functional, they already have a ABAP, they just might require basis, they don't want anything else. It could be anything. It could be based on their budget, it could be based on their need, it could be based on the current requirement that is going on in the client side. So it could be anything. And then most of the time you will find that there are companies in India who are already having a very good market across the world. It could be IBM, Accenture, HCL, Wipro, or any other company who already have a very good presence across the globe, and then they have a delivery center in India in different cities. So that time you will see the concept of offshore and onshore. So a typical team, let's say they are having 10 team members, so they might put 3 team members at client place somewhere in US or somewhere in Canada or any other place. Remaining 7 people, they will work from offshore, that is in somewhere in India. So at times you might be working in odd timings like 2 to 11 or 11 to 8 shift, and then again based on the need you might work in a normal shift also. It all depends on the company, and then it all depends on their policies and then their negotiation with the client. So because client is the one who's gonna bill for you, and then that's how the company is going to earn the money, and then that's how you are going to get your salaries. So that's a typical SAP environment. There are implementation projects. So implementation is something, consider a scenario that you have a company and then you need an ERP software to manage your transactions on a daily basis, because it's like you are having loads and loads of data and then you are not able to manage it. So you want to choose an ERP, and then based on certain criteria you want to go for SAP, and then you will shortlist a vendor who is best in terms of pricing and best in terms of capabilities and best in terms of your analysis. So you have shortlisted a vendor, and then vendor will come to you, and then that's how they will start the implementation. We'll go into the implementation phase later again, because still we are trying to get an overview of how it looks like in a typical industry, from both sides, like typical IT industry, the service providers, and then typical user industry, the end users, the product based companies. So there might be a company whose core business is manufacturing an automobile component, but they are running SAP to handle their purchase orders, their sales orders, their invoices, their claims, their rebates. Could be anything. So again, I mean, data is very important, and that's where SAP comes into picture. Its database and then its integration. It's very robust with different modules. It can handle all kind of interfaces. It's very flexible in terms of understanding any other software, any third-party software. You can easily migrate data from legacy system to SAP system. Legacy system is something which is not SAP. So anything which is not SAP, and then you are working in a SAP environment, so you'll call it as a legacy system. So it could be Oracle, it could be any useless software product, no? So that will be your legacy system. It could be your typical Excel sheets also. So it could be anything. I mean, something which client was managing with earlier, and then now they want to go with SAP. So we'll go back to the PPT and let's see what is there. So this is a typical product scope, and then we have different modules around it. So in between we have a R3 or a server or a client, and then we have different modules running on it. So I think that's enough for now on this. Key modules, we have FI, we have CO, TR, PS, asset management, production planning, quality, plant maintenance, materials management, sales, distribution. Human resources, workflow, it's not a separate module, it's part of technical stuff only. So normally ABAP consultants will do the workflow also, will come to workflow also. Maybe not now, it will take some 2 months I think, because we are planning to spend 30 minutes to 1 hour per day to learn the ABAP concept first. So once you are good into ABAP concepts, then we'll go into workflow. So again they are trying to give some details about different modules. So FI, if you see financial management, we have general ledger, accounts receivable, accounts payable, legal consolidation, accounts information system, treasury, cost accounting. So if you see it, it's very simple term like general ledger, somewhere, I mean a place where all the transactions are recorded related to one particular function or group or something. Accounts receivable, something which you are going to get. Accounts payable, something which you are going to pay to your vendors. Receivable means you are going to get some money from your customer. So you should clear your concept in the right beginning. Vendor is someone who supplies the goods to you based on your requirement. Customer is someone who purchases or takes your product based on his or her requirement or their requirement. So again, I mean, there will be very big vendors who themselves will be running on SAP. There will be very big customers who will be having their own SAP, and then you are the service provider, you have your own SAP. But think of a scenario wherein everybody is working on SAP. How easy it would be to communicate between each other. But then there could be a scenario wherein somebody is running on Oracle, somebody is running on SAP, and then they don't want to change their ERP because they are comfortable with that. So that's fine, SAP is ready to communicate to everybody, and then we'll do that. We'll see how to do that. So these are typical modules and all. Leave it, it doesn't matter. Plant maintenance, production planning, sales and distribution, materials management, purchasing, inventory, invoice verification. You have a warehouse, you have a lot of material available in the warehouse. How you are going to plan it, the consumption, and also human resource management is like a typical recruitment process, time management, and then the data goes to payroll also, your travel expenses, approvals and all. Somebody is getting transferred to a different location, a different geolocation. So now if you see here, R3 is integrated, so it will have a common database, common data dictionary. Data dictionary is nothing but your database table. So we'll come to data dictionary also as and when we progress to our training now. Application update flows to all related system. So that's the good thing about SAP. Application update flows to all related system means it's very good in terms of integration amongst different modules. It could be FI, it could be CO, it could be MM. So just think of a scenario where somebody inquired you are a company, let's say you make some biscuits, and somebody inquires you that they want some orange cream biscuit. So it's like, we'll call it a simple inquiry, and then you say yes, we do produce, orange cream biscuits, and then we customize it based on your needs also. I could give you in a rectangle shape, in a circular shape, or whatever. Then they would ask you to give some quotation for, let's say, 100 quantities, and then you get back to them with a quotation that 100 biscuits will cost them, let's say, $1 or $2, and then later, based on quotation, they will confirm their order whether they want those biscuits or not. So in terms, no, they will be contacting different vendors who are also into biscuit manufacturing, and then they will also submit their quotation, and then the customer is going to shortlist the best quotation based on quality and then based on other benefits which you are going to provide to your customer. So somebody might come and say that for 100 biscuits I'll give you 5 biscuits free. So there could be different offers as well. So all this data is related to your typical sales data. so it will fall under sales and distribution module. And then customer confirms the order, says yeah, I want 100 biscuit, give it to me. So you supply the biscuit to him, and then you send an invoice to him saying that can you please pay me for the 100 biscuits, let's say $2, and then the customer sends you $2. So that invoicing part actually hits the FI module, that is our financial management, where it will hit a GL, and that's how the data is integrated. So, or you might ask for a payment, and then it will hit their SAP system. You'll send an invoice, and then it will hit some GL in customer's SAP system. So once the order is confirmed, you will ask your warehousing team to issue the material to the delivery team. So that is where the data will be accessed from module, that is material management. So the integration between different modules is very good into SAP, and that's how this product has evolved over a period of time, and it's performing very good in the market. As of today, SAP is having more than 1,83,000 customers. So just imagine that how good their market is. And it's not just a typical manufacturing industry, they are good into it. They are also good into other industry specific requirements. It could be electricity, it could be water, so all utility companies, insurance, banking, so it could be anything. We have different modules available, and then we'll see how we can get into that. So it's very flexible, you can customize it, and then interface is consistent across all the system. You will see same interfaces everywhere, and then we'll let you know how it looks like. You can create your own reports, you can create your own screens. It can be tailored based on your need. So when we are saying tailored, it's not 100%, but yes, it can be tailored up to 70 to 80%. So SAP, especially R3, it's a complete business solution, and then it's having most critical business processes available as a ready-made solution in the R3 box. So they have already contacted different industries. They have tried to get the best business process from different industries, and they have mapped it to their SAP product. So it provides an enterprise-wide solution. So starting from somebody enters into the premises of that organization, and then somebody exits from that organization. The purpose could be anything. So those processes can be tracked through your SAP system. Somebody might want to come for an interview in your organization, or somebody is coming with a truck to supply some material, and then the security guard wants to issue a gate pass to him. So that could be a simple scenario. So almost everything can be managed by SAP. So leave it, it's all theoretical. It's like functional view of the business. So in the HR you have your accounting staff, in sales you have your order, somebody who is entering the order, somebody who is shipping, taking care of the shipping and all, somebody who receives the order. Production is like based on the order they will manufacture the product. Accounting is like it's all about payments. They will send an invoice, they will expect the money against it. So process view, if you see order processing, product development, customer service, financial reporting. Somebody placed an order, that order gets converted into a production order sometimes because the material is not available in your warehouse, so you might want to manufacture it first. So it will hit the production and planning, then you are supplying it back to your customer, so customer service will come into picture, and then you are invoicing the customer to get the money, so it comes under financials. Implication of R3 implementation. So it requires a process view. So somebody who is working with your organization for let's say 5-10 years, so they will be having a very good knowledge of your overall business process. So during the implementation you might want to involve those kind of users who are good into your business process, and then they will be helpful in the blueprinting and all. So this is all useless. R2 was like a mainframe system. R3 is a client server system. So there could be 2 or 3 different clients over tier to one server. So R3 means 3 tier. So it's the recommended. No. R3 architecture. So you have R3 applications. R3 applications again. We'll see what all applications are there. We have basis who takes care of overall server and all. Sometimes you'll see middlewares also. Middleware is nothing but it communicates with different non-SAP systems and get the data into a certain format, and then lets SAP understand the data, and then SAP accepts the data. You could have different systems, software and hardware, doesn't matter. So what is a 3-tier architecture? Presentation, your workstations and all. This is your presentation. Application, so this is where you are hitting the application server, and then data management, your databases and all. It could be Oracle, it could be anything. Application server, presentation server, database server. So presentation server, as I showed you, this is your presentation server available on your PC. This communicates with the application server in the backend, and then obviously it's via internet, and then application server in terms connects with database server to get the relevant data and then present it to you in your desired format. So leave it for now. So dispatching dialog steps. So we have different work processes who takes care of different tasks, and then we have a dispatcher who assigns those tasks to different work processes on FIFO, that is first in first out basis. We'll see how the work processes and all working into SAP. Structure of a work process, we have screen processor, ABAP processor. Leave it, I mean it will be boring. Now client, this one is like more important. Client is a self-contained unit of an R3 system. So you can see that you have a server somewhere, let's say in Canada, and then you want to access that server from, let's say, US. So when you connect to that server, it opens an instance of that server in front of you. So that is where that application server comes into picture. So you might want to open different interfaces in different instances. In one instance you might want to do your development, but in the other instance you might want to do your testing, because that is where the development authorization is not provided, and then nobody can disturb the data. So we'll also try to see those scenarios based on the availability of the system. So here if you see a typical scenario, somebody in US is working on client 10, somebody in Europe working on client 20, somebody in Japan working on client 30. So it's all different instances of the same server. So you have a same server here, and then these are the different instances of that server. So at times there will be different client copies. Leave it for now. Your role as an ABAP consultant. So modify R3 as a system or as a product to suit to the organization's business process. You might want to do a new development. You might want to modify the existing development. You might want to modify a standard development which comes directly from SAP based on different enhancement techniques, obviously. So even if entire business practice is adopted, You might be asked to create a new report or a transaction, to modify your existing report or a transaction, aggregation of different functions. We'll come to that eventually. So that's how this slide ends for today. So I believe by now you would be having the access to SAP. You would have installed the SAP logon pad on your system, and please note that you need to request for a new password every day, because the password expires on the same day, and then you have to request it on a daily basis. So this is the email which you will get from them, in which they will mention your password, your user ID, your password and all. So please note that you have to request your password on a daily basis. So if you see here, they have mentioned that you need to request this daily at this system. So I already have installed SAP logon pad, and then I already have been assigned a user ID. So I'll go and unlock my user for today. It gets locked every day. I'll give my username here. This is my username. I'll give my email ID, which I mentioned in the right beginning. So it's tutorials.sapabap@gmail.com, and then execute. So it's placing the request to the server. You'll get this pop-up, and then if you come back on Gmail, it takes some time, and then the password is mailed to you. So for now we'll talk about the mini SAP client, which is for a web development training. So if you are having the SAP logon pad available on your system, please note the configuration. So this is what you will be required to configure this mini SAP on your system. Description, you can put anything. Application server is N4S external, instance is 01, system ID is N4S, and then SAP router string. Please note it down very carefully. //miniSAP.consulate.eu/tableau/consulate/h. So it's the router string, and this is how it's going to connect with their server. So to configure this, you go to create, hit on next, and then enter the details which I just told you. So again we'll go back to the details. So this is what you are going to configure in your logon pad, and then since I have already received my password, my user is developer, password is JKPC. I'll go here, I'll give the user as developer, password is and then you will get some information message, just ignore it. So this is how a typical SAP client looks like after you log into the system. This particular place is basically assigned to the company, wherein they can put their logo, and this is like a standard area where you can add your favorite transactions, you can change the menu, you can customize it. So we'll look into it one by one. Now if you go to system status, you'll find the details about this system. So this is the database which they are using, it's MaxDB. The release is this, name of the database, host, owner, server name, operating system, it's Linux, and then this is the program. This is the program which gives this interface. You can double click on this and go to the program directly. So this program will be called immediately when you log into your SAP instance. So if you see here, you will find the screen. We will go to the 100 screen. We will hit on the layout. It will try to access the layout. If you see this, you will see nothing here. So but again, for now, just have a feel that how a typical screen painter looks like. What is a screen painter will come to that later. So we'll come out of it, and then you can hit escape to navigate to the previous screen. So I think we are good for today. Just have your SAP logon pad ready, have your credentials ready so that you can access the SAP server. And please note that this login credentials may or may not work behind the company firewalls or behind your college firewalls. It's mostly going to work in your personal laptop and then personal network. So just see what you can do to access this, because again it's not under our control. And then we have a very good transaction /NEX. It will kick you out of the SAP instance if you hit enter, and then you are out. So with this I'll finish day 1, and then from day 2 we'll try to start the ABAP concepts one by one. So in the next session we'll go to data dictionary. I'll just show you how a typical data dictionary screen looks like. I'll log in again. There is a transaction SE11. Transactions are just like commands which we have in our normal environment. So just don't worry about that. Just enter a transaction SE11, and then this is our data dictionary screen. So this will give you full control on the database. So I think we are good for today, and then we'll come back again. So if you have any question, you can drop me an email on the email ID which I shared in the beginning of the tutorial, or you can post any queries on my Facebook page as well, and then I'll try to revert back based on my availability. So with this I would like to thank you for giving your precious time to this tutorial, and then stay tuned, and then trust me, it's going to be fun. So thank you, enjoy.